You're listening to the Holistic Spaces podcast brought to you by Mindful Design Feng Shui School, episode 102 Reset Your New Year. Welcome to episode 102 of the Holistic Spaces podcast, where we hope to inspire, educate, and empower you to create your own holistic spaces that nurture and resonate with you. Anjie Cho and Laura Morris are the founders of the Mindful Design Feng Shui School. Together, we have over 3 decades of experience designing harmonious spaces for our clients through our design businesses and also through our school, the Mindful Design Feng Shui School. We have so much that we offer the public, our articles, books, workshops, videos. We have guided thousands of people to shift their energy and revitalize their living spaces with the ancient practice of Feng Shui. Mindful Design School offers lots of free blog posts, and we also offer Feng Shui courses and certifications. Check us out at mindfuldesignschool.com. So here we are with our very first episode of 2021. Yep, here we are.
Yep, here we are, another year. Yay!
Yeah. And so Laura and I thought it would be fun to chat a little bit about what 2020 was for each of us and what we are doing personally to welcome 2021. And then we wanted to give a little tip for welcoming 2021 and also close up with a meditation to invite in the new year. So,
Yep.
Laura, why don't you start? Laura,
Okay.
tell me about your 2021 or 2020, sorry.
2020. Well, my 2020 started out pretty good. And then, my business partner got it was crazy months, but it was good. We got through the initial bananas that everyone has all been experiencing. I'm not saying anything that no one obviously knows because it's the thing. I will say, for me, I cannot complain. I was able to, I'm grateful. I have a lot of gratitude that I could weather it the way I could through my business with having you, Angie, and our students and my home and my husband. And I mean, I'm lucky, and I know I have gratitude for that. I have deep gratitude for that. So I fully understand that it's been a really rough year for a lot of people. And for me, the one thing I would say that I lost, and I think everyone sort of had to adapt to it a little bit differently. I will admit I haven't since I painted up until January something, and then I went away and then came back, and then February I haven't painted. I haven't picked up a paintbrush since COVID started. I haven't painted. I haven't done anything like that. I haven't. That was something that I did like I was an art. I mean, I painted. I sold paintings, and I did that. So for me, 2020 has been a year of rediscovering and sort of figuring out how I show up creatively and what being creative means, because not being able to paint, and I don't miss it. Like, I just honestly don't want to paint. Like, I can't. I don't know what it is. I haven't figured it out yet. So I put a lot of energy into mindful design, the school, our students. I directed that creative energy to to our business, I guess, to content creation. I mean, that's sad, but it's really where it went. And I enjoy doing it.
Wait, why is that sad?
Well, I think as an artist, it's not sad. It's just some people would consider that work. Like, that's just work. Like, that's not like you're not doing you're not really, it's a creative outlet for sure, but it's not like, art, like, it's not big, art type thing, big A art. So, but I enjoyed it. And like, I really liked creating all this content. And I enjoyed it very much. And then I think for me, I figured, for my purpose for 2020 sort of came out as supporting you, Angie, and us doing this together because it was a tough year, and obviously my family, et cetera, but also my students. And I think we had a lot of students come on board and in a lot of different areas going through a lot of different things, and I think we really came together as a community. And for me, my purpose was to support my students on a very deep level and really connect with them. And I think that is the beauty of this practice. I think we're lucky, as feng shui practitioners, that this feng shui practice is made for times like this, right? It's made for times of struggle. It is a way to find ease in struggle, not try to make things perfect. You have your perfect work setup. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about finding ease, finding connection, meditation, using some of our deeper traditions and cures. That for me, that's what this year went for me, is to really discover how this practice really truly was supportive, and seeing our students transform. Like, God, like it really, they came to this practice because of many reasons this year. And and just speaking to them, because a lot of them have graduated, just for you guys out there, and so we're chatting with a lot of them, getting feedback and talking to them, and a lot of them are saying that this is just this practice has meant a lot for them, and I don't think they expected that coming into it. It's a really long way of saying what my year was like, but there you go.
Well, wait, I have a lot of questions for you, but one is definitely I I do hear, and Laura and I are always students as well. We still learn a lot from our mentors, our feng shui mentors and our other mentors, but uh I did speak to a graduate someone who just graduated, and she was saying, yeah, she had no idea. She just thought she would learn how to be a feng shui consultant, but she did learn how to be a feng shui consultant. And a word that we get a lot is confidence. She's like, I have the confidence to trust my own intuition. And she's found many other benefits in terms of like how to handle her relationship, how to speak up for herself, how to trust her intuition, how to bring creativity into her marketing job. So many things. So it's really a transformational course. I guess that's a little plug for our course, but it's true because it's not just about learning feng shui. But I actually am curious because you had told me like throughout the year that you haven't painted, but I thought it was because you didn't have time to paint, but now you're coming around to like maybe I didn't want to paint.
Oh, I definitely, it's not that I didn't want to paint. Okay, so when I used to paint, for all the artists and painters out there, you can't stop. You just can't stop. Like, you're like, oh, I just need to, okay, I'm just going to do another one. I'm just going to put this. Now I'm going to use pastel. Now I'm going to put this in. It's just like, you're always you're just, the idea of just being able to put paint or material or whatever to paper or whatever you create. It's like, it's like a compulsion. Like, you just really want to do it, and you can't stop yourself. And when something's not right, you're like, oh, that's not right. But you go back and you're like, that's okay. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to, start fresh and do a different piece or whatever. That creative process, it's just like, I don't know. It's just really, for me, it's something that once it's just on all the time. And then once I start painting, it actually ends up being a little bit distracting from work sometimes. So, because I get really into it, but I haven't even had the remote compulsion. Like, I did something earlier in the year. My mentor, my painting instructor, because of COVID, I always meet with, like, we are always painting together, always meeting with her, and we just can't, we're not. And so we tried to do something online. For me, it didn't, it didn't, and I don't think it was the online thing. That wasn't what it was. I was like, okay. And I kind of went through the motions, and I didn't really do it. So I don't know what it is. I don't think I'm the only one. I've been seeing on Instagram, some other artists have said some things that they've been struggling. And I mean, some artists are the opposite. Honestly, when I thought that we were all going to be locked down, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get so much painting done. Oh, I'm going to get so much done. And it was, honestly, I've done none. And to the point, well, I'll speak to this other point after, because it's about what I'm doing to prepare for the next year. But yeah. So no, it's not been time. So I think what ended up happening is I still have that creative energy, but it manifests in a different way. And because what we do is very creative, Angie. Like we're always making things and doing things and creating and writing and, stuff.
Well,
So,
that's why I said it's not sad, actually. I think it's, I think that maybe that creative energy was being called somewhere else. And because we did have twice as many students as we normally do, or as we did, we're just kind of starting our business is in the baby stages, but we doubled the amount of students we had. And so that required a lot more dedication and a lot more space in our hearts and our creativity.
mhm.
And also we love what we do. It's, I mean, of course there's like parts we don't love, but Laura and I had to grow a lot, like from, I mean, this is leading into my story, but at the beginning of the year, I was very lucky to squeeze in a vacation right before we went into lockdown in New York. I was able to go to Japan, and I think I had been kind of burnt out anyway, so I had a really good time away from work, and then came back, and then we went into lockdown basically, and then I got COVID. I probably had COVID before the lockdown. And so I got sick a few days after New York City shut down. And Laura and I had to go through a lot of probably very unusual challenges that we all went through, but we went through a lot together as business partners in terms of like business growth, but like unprecedented things like getting sick and also being called by all the students we have to show up in a different way because people were really starting to see their homes differently. And we had a lot of fun, and we grew so much this year that we had a lot of growing pains that we supported ourselves through as well. So I feel like, well, and also we had like all of the other things that happened in the US, all the racial unrest and um, all of the political issues that came up did affect us indirectly. And even Laura's in Canada, but we had to work with that as well. And also being teaching an Asian modality, like, and how do we, we were called to revisit everything that we were doing and how to present our teachings and how to present ourselves for our students and what do the students need. So anyway, we had a lot of growth this year,
Mhm.
and I definitely I learned a lot this year, and I don't even know how to summarize. But basically, but I would say I can't complain either. That we're very fortunate that we, like, first of all, our business was made for this situation, and then Laura and I are very resourceful, and we're lucky that we can both pivot, and we have a lot of the same values, so we could support each other. And also I also actually explored creativity a lot this year too, in a different way. So you feel like your creativity was maybe was redirected.
Mhm. Yes, let's go with that.
Yes.
Redirected. Yes.
And mine was redirected too, but in a different way, and I'm still working through it. But I'm trying to find ways to be more spacious and more creative in the more traditional way of creativity, I guess, and where most of my creative energy was put into work all the time.
Mhm.
So yeah, okay, so that's about us. Unless you have any questions. Do you have any questions? Was I being too
No,
vague?
no, that was good. It was fine. I mean, um, well, so should we talk about things that we're going to do and things, well, okay, we're going to talk about things that we are going to do, which is obviously, people can use them as suggestions for themselves from a feng shui standpoint. But, and then we're going to give a meditation, correct? Something to
Yeah.
visualize to move into this new energy, right?
Mhm.
Because so having said all that, I think this is a good exercise to go through to sort of also just to say it, and it's, it's behind us. We also are doing, we do a ceremony every year for the Lunar New Year as practitioners. It's a transcendental ceremony that we do for exactly that purpose, to wash away what happened the year prior. And we will be offering it again to people in February. So make sure you're on our newsletter list if you don't want to miss that. And that will take place the Lunar New Year. So, there are things we do. So this is kind of like a podcast version of just kind of peeling that away. So we were going past in 2020 behind us, but and we learned from it, and we've laid foundations on, which is good. But so you're going to do a meditation, but first, why don't we talk about things that I'm going to do?
Yeah.
And you are going to do.
What are there New Year's things that you?
Yeah. So I always find this time of year, and I think everyone does, I always find this time of year really energizing. And actually, it's the time when I paint the most. It's interestingly, and I'm not. So what I am doing is, this sounds really mundane, but I'm using feng shui principles when I do it, is I'm completely redoing my office. So my office, because I spend so much time here, and I always have, but this year especially, I've spent a ton of time, and we were just so busy. I kind of let the office get out of control, and it wasn't set up the way I needed it to be set up. And half of my office was an art studio, right? So I made the decision to pack up all my art supplies. I have a special because I was just looking at them. I was literally staring at them. I stared at them for a whole year. I stared at them. No, but here's my intention. My intention is so I was actually supposed to get a studio space in May, right? So that my intention was paint all summer, like, because we break a bit in the summertime. So I was going to get this fantastic studio space. I was going to paint with a colleague of mine who's also an artist. We were going to share the space. I mean, all that just went to shit. Like, we didn't do any of that. So my intention is I'm not going to set up my studio in this anymore. I don't want to divide those energies anymore. I think this space, my office space, is going to be for my business and that creative energy. And then my intention is that when things are settled, I will get a studio space, and I will continue to, and then I will paint when I'm in this new place, and I will do all the things that need to be done there. So I'm redoing this office, packed up my stuff, ordered a new office chair, because this one's it doesn't have it's just, I don't like it anymore, even though I need a good high back chair. This one has it, but I don't like it.
And what does that represent?
It represents support, and it's my mountain behind me that kind of helps me feel more secure and stable, and give you that stability that I think we're all craving. And I'm changing my carpet, my rug, the rug in my office. Right now it's red, like really red. And I always, and I did that.
Yeah. From the chest up.
Yeah, you never see it. And I always found that, I mean, it's good for activation, that fire energy, protection. I don't feel like I need that anymore. And it might actually be too much fire chi. And I think I need
so much fire anymore.
Tone it down a little bit. So
I'm
what
getting color are you gonna do?
Huh?
What color?
Oh, it's a mix. So it's got, it's actually, I think it might, and I actually think it is, I think it's got all 5 elements in it. It's a really cool, Persian style rug. Obviously, it's one of those ruggable, like washable rugs, because that's the other thing, is I have animals all over the place in my office. So my dog's my cat. So anyway, so that's what I'm getting. And then
so you're gonna have more of a more balanced rug support.
Exactly. I'm gonna have all 5 elements for more balance. So that's my plan. Oh, and I've brought in way more plants than I had. I don't know why I never did that before. I had a few, but I'm running out of room for the rest of my house. So I'm just integrating them into my office more for more wood energy, wood chi.
Well, I was thinking where I was last year for New Year's, and I was on a meditation retreat, and obviously we can't do that this year. So I'm going to do a self-led meditation retreat, and I did that over the Thanksgiving holiday, which was really great. So I spent 4 days unplugged. And so I'm going to do the same for this holiday season. Maybe not exactly over New Year's, but I think that's going to be one of the things that I'm doing to welcome in the new year. And then I also did a little bit of reorganization, like since I run the Holistic Spaces store, out of my apartment because it's, if you guys don't know, we are officially a small business. Okay. So thanks for supporting a small business, or you can actually, buy something to support us, and or at least share and support a small business. But it was always under my kind of in a inconvenient place to get to, and so now I moved it closer to the front door, so it's more public, and it's in a more convenient place for me to access the inventory. So I guess I'm investing more in that because it's bringing in a little bit more money. But yeah, mostly is to focus on being more spacious, doing less work, and I also started running. So I'm going to keep working on
Really?
that. Yeah, it's been a week.
Wow. I have lots of questions about that.
Oh, well, who knows when this podcast comes out if I'll still be running. No, I probably will. We could talk about that later though. So yeah, so I did want to do this. I wanted to close with a meditation, but before we do that, let's talk a little bit about why. So in this meditation, we're going to visualize a door. And so we wanted to offer one tip that everyone could do for their front door to welcome in this new year. And Laura's going to take over that part.
So I was thinking, because of the theme that Anjie has for the meditation, and also it is good feng shui, as some of you might know, just from when you've listened to us or following or reading, et cetera, all the things that we have, the front door represents what we call the mouth of qi in feng shui. So that is where opportunities, the energy flows through. It's one of the most important areas of the home that needs to be taken care of. So in the spirit of that, of shifting and opening in and inviting new, we thought that one thing you could do to the physical space, so it's nice to sort of layer on the visualization, but as well as doing something physical to your home with intention and mindfully, is to spend some time on the front door. Either wash the front door. Yin-yak, it might be really cold for some people, so just figure out a nice sunny day maybe, and wash the front door with intention. It doesn't have to be fancy how you wash it. It's really more the intention of, just because there's probably grit and grime on it, dust, who knows. But there's also any stuck energy you're going to visualize. Just wash it down. And as you do it, grab have a mantra or an intention or an affirmation that you want to, say as you're doing it. You can also, if you don't want to wash, you can also sweep the front step, and the out front in front of your front door as well. So that, and again, same idea, just moving the chi around, sweeping away the old, and so that you can make way for the new.
Love it. So, all right, let's get started, guys, with our guided meditation. So you can also listen to this later if you're not in the right place. So take a comfortable seat and gently close your eyes. And let's take a few deep breaths. Take a deep inhale and a long exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And with your eyes closed, just visualize yourself in a vast open space. And as you're in this vast open space, you start to see a golden ball of light, sunlight, and it gets bigger and bigger, illuminating the space around you. And then there appears in front of you a doorway. And just notice what the qualities are that doorway. What does it look like? Is there a particular shape? What size is the door? What colors? How does the energy feel around this doorway? Just take a mental note of all the qualities. What does the air smell like? What does it feel like on your skin as you are standing in front of this door? And then you notice there's a doorknob. And just take a look at this doorknob. What is it made out of? What shape is it? How big is it? And you reach for the doorknob with your hand. And you slowly open the door. And you don't walk through, you just look and you see what lies ahead. What is it that you want to see in 2021? What is beyond that threshold? Where is it that you want to step into? What do you want to manifest as you move into this new year? And just notice the kind of feeling that you want to feel in the new year. And what's beyond? What are the colors that you see through the doorway? What are the shapes? What are the images? What's the weather like? And is there anyone there waiting for you? And then with your right foot, you slowly move over, taking your first step over the threshold. And then your other foot. And then you walk towards this new beginning in 2021. This new beginning for a new year with your new intentions. And then you visualize and you focus at your heart center, and there appears a golden ball of light. And this light begins to expand, filling your heart and then your torso. It begins to radiate out this luminous golden light, and it fills your entire body. And then the light expands beyond your body, 9 feet in all directions. And you're radiating this golden sunlight from your heart center. And then we send this light and radiate it out to every sentient being. And we'll close. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. And when you have a moment, you can write down anything that came up for you and anything that was revealed to you about what your intentions are for the new year.
That was great.
Yeah, how was that?
That was nice. Yeah, good. I like that. Okay.
Well, thank you all for joining us. Happy New Year to everybody. We look forward to another year with you. And if you didn't know, we have a few new offerings. We will now be available with a new podcast episode every Monday. So tune in every Monday for a new podcast episode. And don't forget, we've also started a monthly forecast. So one of those Mondays, we'll have a monthly astrology forecast with Western astrologer Christina Wingeier. And thank you so much for listening to us over the years. We've we've developed quite a listenership. So we're really thankful for each of you. And if you like our podcast and this episode, please share this podcast with others. You can subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher or Spotify. You can also leave a review. And be sure to tune in next week. We're going to talk about welcoming the year of the metal ox. That'll be fun. And be sure to sign up and subscribe for our newsletter. It's if you go to holisticspaces.com or mindfuldesignschool.com, you can sign up for a newsletter. And if you'd like to explore the world of holistic spaces and mindful design and feng shui on an even deeper level, you can visit our website at mindfuldesignschool.com or holisticspaces.com. And you can support the podcast by checking out our certification and mini courses at mindfuldesignschool.com. We actually have a new practical feng shui that's going to come up pretty soon. So check that out. And you can submit any questions. If you have any questions for us, you can ask them on practical feng shui. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.